So the Side Changing series is set a little bit in the future, so it's not too futuristic, but just slightly, and it's based around 3 races. There's the changelings, who are basically shapeshifters, and they can change into animals like leopards and wolves. And then we've got the Sai, who have really phenomenal powers of the mind, like telepathy. And but the thing is, those powers drive them insane. So they've conditioned emotion out of themselves as a way to sort of stop that. And then you've got the humans, who are caught in between the really cold sort of Sai and the warm-blooded, changelings. Yeah.
And then you go right into Burning Up, which is an anthology, and you're with Nalini.
Yeah, and Virginia Cantra and Angela Knight. Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah, and that's a side-changing novella as well.
Okay.
And it deals with a character you've seen in the books, but just sort of as a peripheral character, as one of the main characters' admin assistants. And so yeah, it's her story and how she became part of the shapeshifter pack, even though she is actually human.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Oh, wow. Readers will be looking for that. As well as you have your Guild Hunter series, and your next installment comes out this year?
No, next year.
Next year.
So February 2011. It's
Okay.
Archangel's Consort.
All right. And where does that take us in the series?
So this is like a continuing series. So the next step is where the character of Elena is going. She's had a big change in her life, and it's how she's coping with it. And in the last book, we went to the refuge, which was the angelic stronghold. Archangel's Consort takes us back to New York, and it's Elena, coming back to where she used to live, but home is very different with the changes, that she's undergone. And we've also got things from Raphael's past coming up. So yeah.
Oh,
a lot
lots
to
to look forward to.
Yes.
So you write exclusively paranormal, and
Yes.
that's how you launched your career, and obviously gotten this wonderful following reader base that enjoys your books. What intrigued you to write paranormal?
I think I've always had an interest in that kind of thing, like especially like telepathy and stuff like that. I just had an interest in it, and I think it all sort of percolated in my brain for a while until it was ready to come out. And I remember sitting down one day and thinking, it would be really awesome to be a telepath. But what if everything you heard drove you insane? What would you do? And that's how it began. I started writing this book, and and I loved it. I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be writing. So yeah, and it just went from there.
Now, are you one of those authors that does an outline as you write your stories, so you know where each book will be taking the reader, or do you kind of let the characters drive you?
I let the characters drive me.
Okay.
But for the Side Changing series, there is a backstory, like an overarching story in the background, and that is plotted out in a very basic sense in my head, so I know where it's going, and I think that's been really important in terms of keeping the series cohesive. The Guild Hunter series is a bit different because it's more character-based, I think, and so it's the characters that are really driving it in terms of where the series itself is going. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's two different ways. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Now, do you read paranormal yourself, or what do you like to read when you have free time?
I read quite eclectically, so I do read paranormal, but I also read quite a bit of historical and contemporaries. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And some science fiction and fantasy as well. So
Okay.
mix it up.
You like diversity, yeah.
Yeah.
What one characteristic would you say every romance hero should have?
Every romance hero. I think he needs to have honor. I think in the way he treats not only the heroine, but also the way he treats others around him. I think we can have really tough and damaged heroes, but as long as they have that core of honor, they can be redeemed. And it's important that they treat the heroine with respect as well in terms of that. So for me, a hero is not a hero unless he treats the heroine well, even if they're antagonists at the start. Yeah.
That's good. Now, you've been writing for how many years now?
My first book was published in 2003. free.
Okay.
So that would be like
7 years.
7, 8 years, yeah.
Yeah. And I guess my question is, I mean, it's a long period of time, but it's not.
Yeah.
But do you have any regrets so far? Things that you wish you would have written or done differently in a book, or
No, I
anything
think
at all?
I'm actually really happy with how
I think you
everything's
should
going.
be. Your success has been huge. So.
Yeah, I think it's been great because, you know, my publisher has been letting me go in the direction I want to go with the series as well, which is really fantastic. And yeah, I've just stayed true to myself and true to the characters, and that's important to me.
Yeah. If there was one thing that you wanted to part with our readers, what would you tell them about your stories, about your books that you think they would enjoy knowing?
I think, let me see. Well, for people who read the series, the Side-Changing series, I would say there are lots of connections in the books, and nothing is random, so do read carefully, and you never know who might come back. That was mentioned, you know. It's a hint. So
good to know. We'll mark that down.
And just enjoy the books and enjoy the stories, you know.
Yeah, and we do. Thank you very much, Nalini.
Thank
Great
you very
seeing
much.
you.
Yeah, it's great being here.